So, oh, we're recording. Oh, we're recording. Okay, so let me get my screen all set up, and let me also spit out my gum. I'm so sorry. Okay, cool. So, hi everyone. So today we're going to be talking about Fall Training Conference 101, kind of the introduction to FTC and registering. So, registration as a regular club member, or how to register as a club member, and registering when you are your club's representative. So we'll get into that. Ooh, the little movements. Okay, so our agenda for today is going to be what is FTC, how to register, encouraging registration, lowering registration costs, and theme reveal. Ooh, although I think you guys might have already seen it. We had our event page like just launched a few minutes ago. So I think you guys probably already saw it, but it's okay. Well, shh, don't worry about it. And we also have open floor. So if you guys have any questions during the presentation, please save those for the end at open floor, just so we kind of have more time at the very end to go over any details or any specifics that you guys have or are curious about. Okay, so first, yay, meet your host. Hi, my name is Anne. I am a fourth year at UC Santa Cruz. I am majoring in sociology with a concentration in global impact and social enterprise studies. And I'm also your FTC chair for FTC 2022. Yay! Yeah, meet the host. Love that. Awesome. Maybe, I think my background's okay. Okay, so first off, what is FTC? You know, that's like the main question we're always asking. What is FTC? How do you even describe it to new members? So the easiest way to describe FTC is, oh God, take a deep breath for this. It is a 3-day, 2-night district event that invites all Circle K members from across the California, Nevada, Hawaii district to come together to not only learn from a wide variety of workshops, but also to bond with one another. So this is where new members can really get, be introduced to all the tenants within our organization. We have fellowship, the bonding, we have leadership, the workshops, and we also have service. There normally is a service project on site. So new members get to experience that all within like 3 days and 2 nights. Oh, start to click again. Okay, cool. So I wanted to show you guys a video that I think really encapsulates like what FTC is. And this is probably one of my favorite FTCs. All FTCs were good. All FTCs are good, but I love like a dark theme and whatnot. So this one was one of my favorites. And I think this one was also during when I was on decon committee. So we got to help out with the fall training conference committee and work together. So that was really a special, kind of like a special moment, a special term. Yeah. So I'll press play and hopefully you guys can hear. Let me make sure my audio is sharing first. Share sound. Okay, cool. Okay. Also, it's also one of my favorite songs too. So I am showing a little bit of bias. Full screen this. Yeah. Oh, sorry, excuse me. My voice was a little weird there. Yeah, so this is honestly a really great video to show for your clubs if you want to kind of give them a glimpse into FTC. The main reason being this FTC was hosted at the location that we're going to be at this year. So you're able to give them a little sneak peek of what the campsite looks like. FTC last year was hosted down in SoCal in Running Springs. So that one obviously looks a lot different compared to this FTC. So if you are going to play any videos at your club meetings, I definitely recommend playing the Call to FTC 2019. Okay, so why should I go to FTC? You know, that's also another question that people are always asking. And for me, I would say you should go to FTC to meet new people and reconnect with old friends from throughout the years. Our district is so big to the point where not everyone has that chance to get together all the time. I know I have one of my best friends who is up in NorCal, and I really get to see her because of school and whatnot. So FTC was one of the chances that we had to connect with each other again, and seeing like all my counterparts when I was on like club board and whatnot. Along with that, creating the Circle K moment for many new members, whether they're a freshman or they're a transfer student. CKI moments, for those who aren't familiar with this, is basically a moment in Circle K where it made you realize that this organization is just more than like a service situation. You know, I know for me, like I see Circle K as a family. I've met like my closest friends in this organization, and like I still talk to them. And they are one of my biggest support systems, moving not only through Circle K, but also through like real life school and whatnot. And my Circle K moment was actually at FTC too. So this is like a very special event to me. So I would say these are the two main reasons why you should go to FTC. Okay, so okay. Ooh, my screen glitched out for a little bit. Okay, hopefully it's still okay. Is my screen still okay? Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so let's get to some basics about FTC. So where is it going to be? It's going to be at Old Oak Ranch in Sonora, California. When is it? It's going to be Friday, November 4th to Sunday, November 6th. And how? Early registration is going to be $175 per member, and this is due on Friday, October 7th, 2022. And regular or late registration is going to be due October 14th, 2022. And this is going to be $200 per member. And just a heads up with these dates, your registration packet has to be in the Kiwanis office by this date, not just postmarked by the post office on this date. So that's just a heads up. Excuse me. Okay. Or actually, before that, does anybody have any questions about? Oh, yes. And the Kiwanis office closes at 5 p.m. I know here and there some like D-board members will do a kind of like a drive up to the office, but those are very rare occasions. So I would not suggest relying on anybody else to deliver your packet for you. So keep that in mind. But does anybody have any questions right now about the registration price? Okay, if not, cool. Okay, so how to register as a member. So as a general member, you should contact your club board to express that you're interested in going. Most of the time, clubs will prioritize new members. So if you've never been to for a fall training conference, the definition of a new member is someone who has not been to fall training conference ever in their like college experience. So this doesn't matter if you're like a third year In college, if you haven't been to FTC yet, then you are considered a new member within the books of FTC. But going online does count as attending FTC. So keep that in mind when you are interested in registering as a member and when you are working with the forms as a club representative. So contact your board to express your interest. Fill out the Google Sheet/form that your board sends out. So this kind of gathers information like your t-shirt size, any dietary restrictions, your club status, new member or not. And your board will send this out whenever. There's not like I'm not too sure when they will send it out, but so they do it on their own accords. And then along with that, you have to fill out your waivers for FTC and also the code of conduct. And these are going to be physical papers that you have to sign and give to your board members or your club representative to submit in with the forms. So this is how to register as a general member. Okay, and now to the big one. How do you register as the club representative? So really good news is we have a registration manual. Silly news, I for some reason thought you guys are gonna be able to click on the screen with me, but I guess not. So it's okay. I'll send the link into the chat if you guys want to follow along, or you can always just go on the screen with me too, but I'll just send it for you guys so it's easier to read. And right off the bat, it is a lot. And especially even for me, like looking at it, I'm kind of like, oh, wow, like this is so much to look at, but kind of reading it slowly, everything kind of comes together. Okay, so I'm not going to be reading through the whole manual, but I will be going over some important information that you should be aware of if you are the club representative. Excuse me. So deadlines right here, Friday, October 7th by 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or 2 p.m. if you are in Hawaii, at $175 per person. Registration online through the registration after October 7th, but after October 7th, but before October 14th, is going to be $200 per person. So anytime after October 14th, you are not going to be able to register anymore. So I know earlier I talked about a registration packet, and I'm sure you're wondering, like, what is this registration packet? Like, what do you mean? I'll tell you. So in your registration packet, it should have your payment, which should be a check for everybody that you're registering for. And most of the time, I know for me, I asked my advisor to be in charge of that check. I know a lot of us most likely don't have checkbooks. If you do not have a checkbook and you only need like 1 to 2 checks for FTC or like decon, don't order a whole checkbook. I definitely recommend calling into your bank first and asking if you're able to get about like 1 to 2 just like checks. They most likely are going to be over the counter checks, but those are going to be a lot cheaper because if you order a whole checkbook, those tend to be about like, I know for my bank, it was probably like 50 checks for like 75. And I know another friend of mine looked, and the minimum amount of checks he could get was like 100, 200 or so. So ordering a checkbook can get, if you don't need it, then it's like, you don't want to pay that much for that. So just keep that as a heads up. A copy of the first page of your registration confirmation email. So after you fill out the form stack, there is going to be a confirmation email sent to you. So just print the very first page of that, and a completed waiver and code of conduct form for each attendee. So for general members, this is what I am implying to when I say to make sure you sign your waiver and your code of conduct physically, because they do have to be mailed in. And like I said, this must be received in the office by 5 p.m. For the early registration deadline or the regular registration deadline, not postmarked. And if you're wondering, where do I send this to? The address is going to be right here in the manual for you. And so keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay, so going down. So for our club representatives, it's recommended that it's a different address than last year. Yes. This is the correct one, right, Emily?
It should be.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so this is going to be the correct one. It's different from last year's. And if you don't know how to fill out a check or write like the envelope to send it off, you're more than free to like hit me up. I was confused at first too. So there's no shame in that. Don't worry, there's no shame. So for my club representatives, it is highly recommended that you create a Google form to collect information from your members that are going. So this way members can fill it out themselves. You don't have to worry too much about getting all the information and hounding. So the necessary information that you need is going to be name, email, phone number, gender, and I also pronouns, but that's going to be edited. I don't know where that went, but pronouns too. And the school division sponsoring Kiwanis Club, current office held if they do hold a position, food allergies, vegetarian or gluten-free meal, t-shirt size, and first time FTC attendee. So along with that, you will also be required to submit the following. So code of conduct, waiver, like I said, and also a SAA volunteer form. Each school is required to provide a certain amount of sergeant at arms. That's what SAA stands for. And that will be, and they correlate with how many members are going, and we'll look at that in a little bit. And along with that, since these district events are a travel event, the club representative must also fill out and submit the FTC driver's Google form and spreadsheet regarding your club's ride arrangements. This way we kind of know if anything happens and we see that a group, like a car is not here, we're able to check in on them just in case. The drive can get it can get a little confusing. So having that contact information just in case. And along with that, this is also to give thanks to our drivers. Driving tends to be it tends to be a hassle a little bit when you're a driver. You can be tired and you have to drive back, and it is very like draining of your energy. So we do want to give our thanks to our drivers. Okay, yes. And we only accept checks as a payment, so no credit card payments. So please keep that in mind. Members who are attending FTC must be dues paid. So you can check with your secretary to make sure that you are registered as a member of your club for the 2022 to 2023 term. Each club is automatically allocated space for 20 individuals, and this does not include members serving on the FTC committee or the district board. So an example for my club, I go to Santa Cruz. I have to be registered to go to FTC, but I don't count in those 20 individuals because I'm on FTC committee. And if you happen to have over 20 members, we do have a waitlist policy that I will be going over in a little bit. And no changes may be made to your registration once you complete the online registration process. If you have any changes such as names, people and whatnot, you contact Tim Cunning at this email right here by Wednesday, October 26th. So after that, no additional attendees may kind of be added on to your form. So I know that FTC price is a little pricey, so I do want to go over what that includes for you guys as members. So it is going to include conference souvenirs, so a t-shirt, stickers, pins, and whatnot. The following meals: breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Saturday, and breakfast on Sunday. So with this, as you can see, there is nothing about Friday. So for club representatives, please make sure that you guys have food for your club or let drivers know to grab food for their car before arriving on site for FTC. We highly recommend not to leave campsite at night to drive to get food, just because it's a pretty dark road going out of the campsite since we are in the woods. So we highly recommend not to do that. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so the waitlist policy. Okay, so each club should register and submit payments for all members who are committed to attending FTC. So this means even like your 21st, your 22nd member that signed up, they still have to submit their payments. The first 20 names are automatically allocated a spot. Members beyond these 20 spots will be placed on a wait list, and members must register with their home club. So, excuse me, oh dear, I'm so sorry. Members of UCLA Circle K may not be registered under USC Circle K. We've had this situation in the past where some people will register with certain clubs when they're not in that club. So please don't do that. If you are caught doing that, it is going to be bad news. I think you're not dealing with me, but you're dealing with Tim and Patty, and they are people you do not want to cross. So please keep that in mind, and your advisor too. So please keep that in mind, you guys. Let's see. All registered members, waitlist or not, must be paid dues. After the registration deadline passes, we can then determine how many people on the waitlist we can accommodate and contact the clubs accordingly. Most of the time, not all clubs meet that 20 members requirement. So don't let that 20 member cap deter you or any of your members from going to FTC and applying. And clubs cannot register additional attendees after registration closes, even if the general capacity is not reached. So please have everybody in the form by our deadlines. And if you were to cancel, you have to email Tim by October 26th, and there will be a $10 process fee per canceled registration. Now, if you want to swap out members, deadline is going to be the same. Before October 26th, there is not going to be an extra charge to swap out members, but you have to make sure that these members are made within the same like gender of the club, because each cabin requires, the camp requires each cabin to be limited by gender, and the housing arrangements have already been arranged. So please keep that in mind. Okay, so I already answered this question. What is the first time FTC? Just to reiterate, FTC, first time FTC is going to be new member. FTC is going to be a first time FTC attendee, and online FTC does count as going to FTC. Okay, so going down. So here are more into our frequently asked questions. What happens if I arrive late? Registration table closes at 11:59 on Friday, but we'll reopen the next day at 6 a.m. You will be able to find housing locations posted on the door to the lobby. And we will have a packing list. Right now we already have one, but this is going to be updated for you guys as FTC gets closer. So here is the answer for the Sergeant at Arms that I mentioned earlier. Each club will be expected to register a minimum of 2 SAAs plus an additional SAA for every 4 members that attend. And a handbook will be released shortly along with a contact person if you have any information about SAA. When can my club sell our spirit items / t-shirts? So clubs are not allowed to sell merchandise on site, but you are able to do kind of like a pre-sale situation, and you can pass out these items at FTC. So for example, if you wanted to do like a spirit pack, or if you're like selling stickers, then you can do those pre-sale and you can deliver them at FTC. So do faculty and Kiwanis advisors need to register? If yes, how? Yes. Both advisors need to turn in waivers and code of conduct forms. They can register by themselves. Okay, and that is all for the manual. And going down, you can see we have a page of resources for you guys. Along with that, a check and resources along with our contact info. We also have a checklist to make it easier when you're submitting in your forms. And we also have a driver reminder for our drivers. So please make sure to pass that on to your drivers for our club representatives. And going down, you'll see more in-depth information about registration instructions that I will not go through. You can look through this yourself, and if you have any questions, you're more than free to let me know, because this is going really in depth. You're going to see screenshots, so hopefully this helps a lot for you guys. Also, the form stack is a very bright color, so I recommend having blue light glasses because I get a little bit of a headache looking at bright colors. So just a heads up. Okay, and I'll take a pause right here. I know that was a lot to take in. Does anybody have any questions right now about registering? While I take a drink of water. Okay. If not, and this guide is up right now for you guys to look at and to refer to. Okay, going back to our cute PowerPoint that I hope loads. Sorry, give this a moment. The Wi-Fi up here has been like pretty bad. In the meantime, does anybody have any jokes they want to share? I used to have a lot of dad jokes like under my belt, but I kind of forgot. Ooh, okay, let's see. I just got a really bad joke. I'm not going to read that out loud. No, it's okay. It was a bad joke. Okay, so on to our next slide. And it is playing with me. I am so sorry, you guys. Give me a little bit of a moment. Okay, Austin, you're good to start recording again. Okay, so how to encourage registration for FTC. So the why of FTC. And these are things you can share with your club members. So you get to meet new friends, gain experiences through workshops and leadership opportunities, such as being a workshop host, being a team captain, and having your own little team to play with. New member installation. So this is always fun. I'm not going to give all the full details. And if you guys have already been installed, don't say anything. It's a secret. So don't say anything. You get to get cool merch from FTC and maybe other clubs if they do pre-sales and whatnot. On-site fundraisers, penny wars. Ooh, excuse me. And I was actually wondering if, sorry to put you on the spot, Emily, but do you think you can go into penny wars a little bit?
Can you guys hear me okay right now? All right, I'm not going to turn on my camera because my roommate's home. But Penny Wars is basically a competition between different divisions where you guys put in money of different quantities. So pennies are the only ways to gain positive points, and all bills, quarters, etc. is a way to gain negative points. So for Penny Wars, the goal is to have the most points possible. So you can sabotage other divisions by putting like money in their categories, or it might be the opposite. It's one of those, but you can basically sabotage other divisions while also making your own better by putting in different quantities of monies. So pennies either represent a positive or a negative value, depending on the chair. So that's a question for Nina, and she'll release details about that. But it's a great way to raise funds for our district fundraising initiatives, otherwise known as DFIs. While also like kind of getting that competitive spirit, and the division that raises the most money or wins Penny Wars will get like a certificate as well. Yeah.
Yay! Thank you so much, Emily. And along with that, hidden prizes for activities. Ooh, I love prizes. I love winning. I'm very competitive. I love winning. Okay, So as we all saw, the price of FTC is a little, it hurts the wallet a little bit. So I want to give you guys a few tips and tricks on lowering registration costs. So there are three main ways that I've seen work the most effectively for this. So number one is school grants. So your school may have money for leadership development opportunities. And for this, I believe you contact your either the head of club activities or I think mainly your head of club activities. I know some schools will contact their financial aid office, but mainly it's going to be your club activities office. Next is going to be Kiwanis funding. So talking to your Kiwanis club, if they don't have a budget set aside for Circle K, try to reach out before October 1st, which is the Kiwanis New Year. Another thing that I've seen work really well is kind of, you can auction off services at events. So this can be if like you can auction off like mowing their lawn or cleaning their garage and whatnot. Because most of the time, Kiwanians are so busy with juggling being involved in the organization, and also they're most likely they have like another job, their main job. So a lot of times like they're probably so tired and they would love that help with like cleaning up their house and whatnot. So offering those services in an auction form tends to receive better engagement. It's a lot easier, or it's a lot better than just kind of being like, hey, we need money, thanks. It leaves like a better taste in their mouth because they're also getting something back out of providing money. And along with that, another tip that my advisor told me was kind of, this sounds a little weird, but this is what he said word for word. He said kind of making members work for the money. And when we say work, we mean like, for example, writing a thank you card to Kiwanians, attending a Kiwanis meeting and showing like physically showing appreciation for the Kiwanians in order to receive said money to help with registration costs and whatnot for FTC, decon, or even banquet or membership fees. So the Kiwanians will feel a lot better about this, because they know like where the money is going, and they know that, you know, these members that are getting the money are working for it. So it just all in all leaves a better taste rather than just asking for, hey, can we get like 1K for like FTC and whatnot. So keep that in mind, Kiwanis. And also hosting fundraisers for FTC. So this can be like Instagram story dares, that little bingo card where it's like you can pay like $5 and have your friend like be pied in the face and whatnot. These little dares really help a lot. Restaurant fundraisers after general board meetings or general club meetings. So this can be like going to Panda Express. This can be going to like a small business, like a mom and pop in like downtown. If you're in like a heavy like heavy college city area, like Berkeley, and selling candies / donuts on campus. And this, please make sure you go through the school for this. I know some clubs kind of got in trouble by kind of doing it under the table. Don't get in trouble. That's bad. That's very bad. Don't get in trouble. So make sure you have permission when you're doing like selling things on campus and whatnot. Along with that, like also even doing like the pre-sale of like spirit merch, like I said earlier, like stickers. A lot of people love stickers. That's something that everybody wants nowadays. So those little things definitely do help out with everybody's registration costs. Oh shoot! Oh no, I didn't do a drum roll. Oh no. Okay, wait. You guys did not see that at all. Okay. Okay. Well, that is the end of the workshop, and now we're going to into theme reveal. So if you guys can do a little drum roll on your side, you don't have to unmute, but I'll do a little drum roll. Hopefully that's not too loud. I think some of my housemates are sleeping, but ooh, what's the theme? Ooh. Ta-da! It's gonna be board games this year. So yeah, our theme is board games, and our slogan is going to be the game of service, based off of the game of life. Yeah, so this is really exciting. I feel like board games are like really easy to work with, and we can do so much with them. And there's so many board games too. So we are going to do our best to incorporate these into our campsite at FTC. So we hope that you guys are looking forward to this. And do I have another slide? I don't. Okay, cool. I don't. So earlier, like I said, we are going to have an open floor at the end of the webinar. And this is going to be the end. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or type it into the chat if you don't want to speak up. I'll give you guys a few minutes for that. But one thing I do want to advertise is that Fall Training Conference is still looking for committee members. Are the positions, we have a majority of our positions open. Right now, we have our EA and our workshop chair filled. So anything aside from that is up for grabs. And the application, I believe my EA, Yvette, has sent into our leadership Discord with our QR code, or you can always contact me individually via email. I will type my email into the chat in the meantime, if I can get the chat box open. Okay, cool. Yes, Austin. So that's the wrong email, Emily, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation, Anne. I was wondering what type of workshop topics you have in mind for the weekend.
Yeah, so workshops that we have in mind right off the bat is going to be, we're going to have fun. We're looking into doing like more fun workshops and a mix of leadership workshops. So we're gonna have like dancing workshops, K-pop dance. I know those always do really well. We're going to be having workshops geared towards board members. So your president, VPA, secretary, A board members like MD&E, PR, even like our Kiwanis family. And let me see, I know we have a good list. Not all of them are approved yet because we are going through the workshops to make sure they're the best for our members. But those are going to be a few that you can look forward to. Ooh. Okay. Any other questions, you guys? Okay. If not, thank you guys so much for attending this webinar. I know there has been a lot of information about FTC, but the committee really appreciates your patience with our timeline right now. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me, even like helping with registration, even like the smallest question, like what are we eating? You are more than free to email me or get me on Messenger, like on Facebook, if you already are friends with me. If I don't know you, I won't add you though. So please make sure to introduce yourself first. Yeah, thank you guys so much. And our event page right now is out if you guys do want to share that with your club and whatnot to show interest. And in the near future, we're going to be releasing workshop applications, team captain applications, even campfire skits. So please keep an eye out for that. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll stop sharing my screen.